Philosophy upon Vampire Temple of Atazoth of the Sinister Pathway Triangle Order of the Order of Nine Angles. Part 3. We open with a sort of winter solstice and summer solstice set of exchanges, of the rise and fall of light and associated planets. This picture tells us harvest and life comes from death. Its secondary message is the transfer of proper order to David Myatt. In a world between monstrous and heavenly, people may think you have to go somewhere else to encounter the unseen worlds, but the Atazoth overlaps the mundane world. Some use the butcher, demon head, the runaway of the big dog, and other planetary or stellar spots as references. But most of the techniques are ritual beyond physical orientation and conditions. Regardless, the inner and outer ways need to be aligned with the Atazoth. Some consider the Holy Grail to be a crystal, and in the Order of Nine Angles, the focus is on four-sided stones. I recommend you get one and dedicate in the category of what is often misunderstood of as an androgen, but is actually the wild feminine of wisdom. It isn't just some anti-personal self idea. But the daimon would make sense for a male-dominated group. The heart of the Scorpion, Jupiter, and Venus are the directional references to a dedication to Baphomet, which honors all ages of women. She, as Sophia, wisdom, is into the light, and as Shub, Nigger Ash, or Ath, is darkness owner, female, or after, or mother, as the dark side. In one way or another, the associated myths or models, but we must understand the violence and such was directed beyond fantasy and senseless action. We need to do more than just work through and rework old myths. We need to transform like the heroes and anti-heroes of old. As we progress, our alters and workings can change along the way. In the real world, we explore, we find partners, we form distinctions, we are initiated, we internalize references, we organize with groups that will not deny the shadow or other psychological landmarks, and we form something of a legacy beyond this life or even Earth. The Atazoth of ecstasy will ground and release through control of the states and stations of alchemy. The egregores of magical partners and groups can be combined to multiply the immortality sense. Diabolists are the sort of Satanists who relish in being damned. Crowleyan Satanists try to willfully change terms and categories towards their ends. Levian Satanists exalt their own psychology and sensual beings. Sethians excel in self-mastery. Satanic temple types use drama and politics to weird people out or protest their way into getting their causes across. Other Satanists are more about the relationship with dark gods or Satan. Each group has its expected contributions to the scene. Now, when I say Crowleyan Satanist or New Age Satanist, I'm not saying that New Age and Satanism is the same, or Aleister Crowley was a Satanist in that sense, but certainly those that are more influenced in that category. A lot of people consider origins more than form and function. It involves self in frightening modes toward purifying the Western ethic. Of course, it isn't about cultures as much as what it is in those cultures. The Order of Nine Angles admits that some of its practices may have come from women's orders, much in the way that Sufi orders of men and women tend to differ. Obviously, the femme fatale and the hunter modes can accomplish the same sort of culling. Christos Beast needed to get beyond fluffy, Christianized, and fictionalized magic to a direct relation to the dark side. Eventually, a Satanist becomes a convergence point of Satan and the dark angels by more than just music and forbidden media, but by rewriting their own programming and using the contentions that arise between people for aeonic change. Since Christianity has turned against the natural man and relationship with nature that was common among the pagan and heathen, we return to the symbolic and functional procession of the times, seasons, and astral cycles with our rites. The flat symbols become three or so dimensional and presence beings in nature. We are thus sympathetic to the pathways without having to be emo or goth and become a living grimoire. The beings and other aspects of what might be in a grimoire become our character traits. Those called dark gods don't need us, and projecting our sense of their plan into society is not the personal and collective change we are working for. We will use wet caves and the lunar cycles in time where the rituals and time in the place will finish before twilight to open the gate of a particular dark god with its associated tarot card. Others will divide up the rituals to different chanters and curse with effigies. Others blaspheme the political and religious norms to dedicate their flesh and its vital fluids to the embodiment of what they worship. Some eat bloody cakes by the new moon. Some honor the above ground and underground forms at the autumnal equinox. The psychological and cosmological types of magic are endless. Magic goes beyond letting things take their course or drama to please the self. A person must be entrained to the forms chosen, as much as intentions and beliefs involved may vary with the material. Beings may teach you rituals and aspects that you will never have encountered in any media form. There is ego death, the temple space that lives outside of the rituals, and the outside ritual spots. These will be used for more than recreation, handed down forms and nostalgia. We don't just honor a cyclical sacred marriage or some entities associated with directions and points of the year. We become of their company and place ourselves in the midst. We will recapture the power taken by the mundane system and live in the new and purposeful ways. And one of the things that we might want to consider is the Anatolian dark gods, as they're called. Luwian, Marweanza, Markueas, Markawayash, Shipatosh, very specifically the dark heptad. And this very much ties to our sevenfold way. And likewise, it's fair to assume that it goes back into prehistory.